Hey everyone, it is Tyler and Tiana, and we are back. And today's episode is going to be a little bit different. We are going to talk about folks who have a ton of equity in their home, who feel stuck that they have these interest rates that are super low and they can't move up into a bigger house, even though they need it and their quality of life would be better. So, what's up, Tyler?
What's going on? Happy Monday, Tiana.
Happy Monday. Where are interest rates today?
It's about 7.551. Yeah, it's about a 30-year fixed conventional loan, 7.551.
Got it. Okay. So, not different from the past few
Yeah,
months, even.
I know.
So let's give the people of our Facebook groups the understanding of like what they can do differently, options of what they could do differently to
Yeah,
get into, say, the home of their dreams, or if they've just outgrown their home or just want to change. What can they do to get past these higher interest rates, higher house costs,
hmm
and how they can move forward. So,
yeah,
Tyler, I have a little bit of an example to run by you. And again, this is just an example, but it's kind of where a lot of people are in today's environment. They have a lot of built up equity, especially if you bought pre pandemic, and now you don't know how to leverage that equity. So that's what Tyler and I are going to
exactly.
talk about today.
Yeah,
All right, so let's jump into it. So let's use this example of in 2016, you bought a house that was worth 400,000. You
hmm
had a 3% interest rate or you refinanced it and your payment is around 1950. Now this excludes taxes and mortgages or sorry, taxes and insurance because that's different everywhere. And we really wanted to keep it to debt payments. Now,
correct.
most people are have some sort of personal debt, credit cards, student loans, car payments.
Yep,
So when Tyler and I were looking, what are the most common debts that people have? These were the most common. So
correct.
let's say you have about $25,000 in credit cards, 15,000 across, one car, two cars, and your student loans of 85,000. You're paying about $1,000 a month.
hmm
If you look at what your payment is for both your mortgage and your total debts, you're around $47.50 a month or
hmm
$125,000 you owe in, other debts outside of your mortgage.
Correct.
So that's a pretty decent payment, right?
hmm It is.
Now, in 2023, the average, and I'm going to use Florida, the average Florida home
hmm
saw about an 80% increase over the last 5 years. So let's say your house is now valued at 720,000.
hmm
You owe around 350,000 and your equity is 370,000. And we're just using simple math here so that you can follow along and understand what it could look like for you. Now, let's say you took of that 370,000, you paid off all your debt. You paid off your student loan, you paid off your car, your credit cards, you have no more debt, just the house. With that down payment, or I'm sorry, with that debt payoff, you now still have $245,000 to pay towards your down payment. So it's about a 27% down payment.
Yep.
If the new house of your dreams is worth 900,000 at 7.5% interest,
Yep.
with the down payment, your mortgage payment is going to be $45.79. Again, not including insurance and taxes. But
hmm
that saves you around $170 a month. And it was what you were paying before.
Yep.
You're just going to be in a much nicer house or the house that you need for your lifestyle. Anything I
Exactly.
missed there, Tyler?
No, I think you hit around the money, Tiana. And one thing that people fail to think about is, what interest rate are you paying on your credit cards? I don't think people realize what the interest rate is,
Right.
right? And then also a lot of them that I'm seeing, they have, personal loans, like personal, just like equity lines or whatever. And again, the interest rate is much higher on those than compared to a mortgage rate, right? So I think you nailed around the money, especially with the student loans that's coming back. People are making payments on it now. So if
Right.
you look at all the numbers, it just makes more sense. That's the way you can leverage your equity, because that's the only thing great about this current market is we have a lot of equity in homes. So you hit around
Right.
the money.
And I think people are just getting caught up about the high prices and the high
Yeah,
interest rates. But it's like when you look at the total nugget of what you're
yeah,
paying every month in
exactly.
debt, what does that look like? How can you offset it with the equity that you have and
Yeah.
move up in house or even move down and make some money?
Exactly. Yeah, if you move down, even better situation for you, you know. So
Right.
you can have money in the bank. You can have a nice cushion for savings. And again, that number you can tweak just how depending on what is your needs, your current needs, right? If you want money in the bank, you can do that and have a little portion because that's what a lot of our clients are doing is when they sell and they're buying the next house, they're saving a chunk of change in their accounts. So
Right. And then at some point in the future, it could be 3, 4, 5 years, that rates
mhm,
go back down to around 5%, 4%.
yeah,
You can always refinance and lower that payment even more.
exactly.
So that can help with the debt payoff. And then
Mhm.
another option would be renting, right?
Yeah, 100%. So that's one thing that's been really great. Like one of my partners, she's thinking about renting her current house out and buying the next house because, again, she has a lower interest rate on the current mortgage. Her monthly payment's low, and when she does, like, let's just say, for example, she's paying 2,500. She could probably get 3,500 for rent right now. And with lenders, if you're able to obtain a lease during the loan process, we use 75% of whatever the lease amount is to offset your current mortgage to qualify for the new home.
Wow. Okay. So then she gets a $750 credit or income,
Mhm.
additional income on her
Yeah,
monthly income to qualify for that next house.
correct. 100%. Yeah.
So there you have it, guys. There are multiple options in this market to make a move. And it really just comes down to what is important to you. Is it the
Mhm.
quality of life? Is it getting the money out of the house? Is it renting and owning an income producing asset?
Yeah.
Everyone's situation is different. And that's why it makes sense to talk to a local realtor expert and a lender as well.
Yeah. I got to give you kudos that you worked that Excel spreadsheet very well, Tiana.
Oh, thank you. I love working in Excel. All right, guys, if you have any questions whatsoever, feel free to reach out to Tyler and I. Again, this was an example. It wasn't a perfect scenario, but it is a real scenario of what could happen. So, if you have questions, if you want us to run through your situation, we're more than happy to do so. No obligation whatsoever, just happy to help where we can.
That's
See you
right.
guys later.